Hello everyone of 340. Dr. Schultz asked me to make this video to show you guys how to export your Gerber files in KiCAD, since that is what most of you guys are using. And we need to make sure that we are verifying the design rules checker. Granted, I will say that this is slightly out of date. We will be updating this later, but for now this will certainly work for you. So don't be worried about that. But in the future, if you plan on submitting jobs to our website, just be aware that there's a couple things that might be a little different. For this project, however, you'll be totally fine. So first things first is you're going to want to come to the shop website, and then you want to open up this PCB mill request, and you want to click on this link right here. This will take you to a GitHub repository where you will want to download this zip file. I've already done that and have extracted it right here. And then you want to open up your KiCAD project, and you want to import these settings. Don't be worried if the KiCAD version is older. These were made in KiCAD 7. They work just fine in KiCAD 9. You'll come down here, so in this button up top, it'll open up this window. You'll do import settings from another board. You want to click on this folder icon here, and you'll want to go to the repository that you've downloaded and extracted, and then go ahead and navigate to KiCAD 7. You want to go to Design Rules, and then the Design Rules project. And here you want to click on this PCB file right here, and you'll hit Open. And then there it'll pull it up right here, but as you're going to see, it's not going to let you import anything else because you need to select what exactly you want to import. I wouldn't recommend selecting everything. The things that are going to be necessary are going to be your custom rules, violation severities, and you want the design rule constraints. And then you'll go ahead and hit import settings, and you should see, once that finishes, if you go to custom rules, you'll see there'll be some things in here. And these are the custom rules that we have to make sure you fit within the shop constraints. So then you just go ahead and hit OK. And from this point, you'll want to actually generate your fabrication outputs. I recommend running your design rule constraints long before doing this to make sure you're within those. And you can do that here. But we will also do it in generating the fabrication outputs. And if you can't see already, this PCB is not done, but the process will be the same once it's finished. So you'll come over here to File, go down to Fabrication Outputs, and click on Gerbers. And you shouldn't have to change anything in this folder. Everything should be okay by default. These are the different layers that you will export. Again, you shouldn't have to change any of these, but make sure that at least you have these selected. Especially the most important are going to be edge cuts, your front and bottom layers, and your masks. Those are absolutely essential. And if you want to be safe, you can select everything, although that's won't be necessary. Now, the way KiCAD does it is you have to do it in 2 steps. The first step is actually generating your drill files. So you do that by coming down here to generate drill files, and then you will need to select an output folder. So you're going to click on this folder icon. I'm going to do it inside of my project. So here I'm in my projects, my transceiver, and I'm going to make a new folder for it here called transceiver Gerbers. And then I'm going to click on this folder, and we're going to use this one. It's going to ask me if I want to use relative path. Yeah, that's totally fine. And once you're here, you shouldn't have to change anything in here. You can just go ahead and hit Generate. And it'll generate those, and I guess mine automatically close it. It may or may not, but you can go ahead and close that, and we can double check that those actually show up now. So let's take a look. And in the Gerbers, you'll see, boom, you have NPTH and PTH. This is non-plated through hole, so that's like mechanical holes, and you have plated through holes. So don't be worried if there's 2 files you see there. That's totally normal. Now let's go ahead and generate the rest. You'll see that it's going to use the same directory. That's exactly what we want. Again, you shouldn't have to change anything here, although what you do want to do is, as a sanity check, you should have already done this before, but you're going to want to run your design rules checker. And you'll see I did run it just before this because it did take a while because I have 1,000 violations, because obviously I haven't made my board yet. First things first is take care of all your errors. So I would deselect your warnings and go through every single one of these errors. You can click on them, and it will actually even show you inside here. It'll highlight it for you. I don't know if it's going to let me move these windows. That's why I would pull it up before doing this. You can move this window off to the side. You can click on each one, and it will move my board actually to where the actual error is. And you see all these arrows in KiCAD are pointing to where there are errors. Go through all the errors, and I would treat warnings as errors as well. Go through there and make sure that you don't have any of those. A lot of them could be silk screen issues, which is what I think a lot of these are pointing to, or I have the lettering is overlapping the silk screen for the resistors here. Stuff like that, it's totally up to you if you want to take care of that. Honestly, you can ignore it because that's not, again, it's a warning, it's not an error. It's not going to electrically change my PCB. It's more of a visual thing. So yeah, this will, and again, this will match it against what the shop has, which the shop's rules and these old ones are pretty strict. I would try and take that, try and meet those specifications. The biggest issues you're going to have are going to be clearance issues, and that is why these do need to be updated. What I mean by that is on these, some of these pads, okay, I'm going to close this out so we can see. Sometimes these pads will be too close to another pad, and that's something you're not going to be able to change because that's a physical constraint, right? If you do see any of those and it's between your pads, I would say you're okay to ignore that because that is being pretty strict. But do your best to follow those. They will certainly save you in many cases. So going back to our fabrication outputs, we need to finish generating the Gerbers. We've already done our drill files, and so once you have passed, and if you see no errors and no warnings in your design rules checker, so if there's no errors and warnings, then you're good to go, and you just go ahead and hit plot, and that will generate all of those files, and we can see those that they're all right here, and they should all be ending in that .gbr file, and that should be it. So then you can just zip that up and send it off.